Hello students, let us continue with your chapter 3 minerals from geography part. Although I have explained you half of the chapter in your online class on Microsoft app, but still a quick recap of the topics which I explained to you earlier, and then we will proceed further. The first topic which we did was mineral. Define a mineral. A naturally occurring substance that has a definite chemical composition is a mineral. Then types of minerals. Minerals are of two types, metallic and non-metallic. Metallic minerals contain metal in raw form. Metals are hard substances that contain heat and electricity and have a characteristic luster or shine. Iron ore, manganese ore are some examples. Metallic minerals may be ferrous or non-ferrous. Ferrous minerals like iron ore, manganese and chromides contain iron. A non-ferrous minerals does not contain iron but may contain some other metals such as gold, silver, copper or lead. Second type of mineral is non-metallic mineral which do not contain metals, limestone, mica and gypsum. These are the examples of such minerals. So the mineral fuels like coal and petroleum are also non-metallic minerals. The next topic was extraction of minerals. Minerals can be extracted by mining, drilling or quarrying. The process of taking out minerals from rocks buried under the earth's surface is called mining. Minerals that lie at shallow depths are taken out by removing the surface layer. This is known as open cast mining. Deep bores called shafts have to be made to reach mineral deposits that lie at great depths. This is called shaft mining. Petroleum and natural gas occur far below the earth's surface. Deep wells are bored to take them out, and so this is called drilling. Minerals that lie near the surface are simply dug out by the process known as quarrying. Next topic was the uses of minerals. Minerals are used in many industries. Minerals which are used for gems are usually hard. These are then set in various styles for jewelry. Copper is another metal which is used in everything from coins to pipes. Silicon is used in the computer industry. Aluminium is used in automobiles and airplanes, bottling industry, buildings and even in kitchen cookware. The next topic is conservation of minerals. If you remember, I told you about the 3 R's: reuse, reduce and recycle. Minerals are a non-renewable resource. It takes thousands of years for the formation and concentration of minerals. The rate of formation is much smaller than the rate at which the humans consume these minerals. So it is necessary to reduce wastage in the process of mining. Recycling of metals is another way in which the mineral resources can be conserved. Next comes the power resources. Power or energy plays a very vital role in our lives. We also need power for industry, agriculture, transport, communication and defense. Power resources may be broadly categorized as conventional and non-conventional resources. Conventional sources. Conventional sources of energy are those which have been in common use for a long time. Firewood, coal, petroleum, natural gas, hydropower, these all are the examples of the conventional sources of energy. So now we come to our next topic, non-conventional sources of energy. As you can see in the picture, I have shown you types of non-conventional sources of energy: solar energy, wind energy, hydel energy, geothermal energy, biogas energy. So these are the types of non-conventional sources of energy. So let us start with the very first type of energy, which is the solar energy. As you can see in the picture, these are the applications of solar energy: solar cooker, solar water heater, solar photovoltaic, solar water pumps. The sun is the source of all energy on the earth. Photovoltaic cell, which is a solar device, converts sunlight directly into electricity. This solar energy is used in heating and cooling appliances. Solar cookers, solar geysers, solar cars, solar dryers, solar street lighting system, etc. are solar devices. Advantages of solar energy: it is inexhaustible source of energy. It is non-polluting energy source. Now disadvantages of solar energy are: it is very expensive, it is diffused source, so it gets wasted. The next type of energy is wind energy. As you can see in the picture, this is a windmill. Now the power generated with the help of wind is called wind power. It has been used since ancient times of grind grains and pump water. Recently, wind power has been used to generate electricity also. High speed wind rotates the windmill, which is connected to a generator to produce electricity. In India, Tamil Nadu has the largest number of windmills, followed by Gujarat. Now, advantages of wind energy: it is a renewable source, it is pollution free, it is inexpensive, the cost inputs are only at the initial stages, it is safe and clean. Disadvantages of wind energy: it creates noise pollution, it is harmful to birds, it is not totally reliable as it is highly variable and with time, place and intensity. It is a costly setup. The next energy which we are going to discuss is the nuclear energy. As you can see in the picture, this is a nuclear plant. Nuclear power is obtained from energy stored in the nucleus of atoms of naturally occurring radioactive elements like uranium and thorium. It is used for household and industrial purposes. The nuclear power stations in India are located in Kapakam in Tamil Nadu, Tarapur in Maharashtra, Rana Pratap Sagar near Kota in Rajasthan, Narora in UP and Kaiga in Karnataka. The next is geothermal energy. The heat energy obtained from the earth is called the geothermal energy. This heat energy can be used to generate electricity. This energy is used in cold storage plants, in industries and for domestic purpose. Hot water and steam reservoirs under the surface of the earth at temperatures more than 180 degrees Celsius are generally used by existing geothermal plants. In India, geothermal power plants are located in Manikaran in Himachal Pradesh and Puga Valley in Ladakh. Now, advantages of geothermal energy are: it is clean and eco-friendly, it is always available. Disadvantages of geothermal energy: the sites of geothermal energy is located far away from cities. It is costly to transport this electricity. The next energy which we are going to discuss is the tidal energy. The rise and fall of sea water in the coastal areas are called tides. Energy generated from tides is called tidal energy. During high tide, the energy of the tides is used to turn the turbine installed in the dam to produce electricity. Tidal energy can be harnessed by building dams at narrow opening of the sea. Advantages of tidal energy: it is available free of cost, it is an inexhaustible source of energy, it is non-polluting source of energy. Disadvantages of tidal energy: it destroys wildlife habitat, it is difficult to harness. The last energy which we are going to discuss is the biogas energy. Organic waste such as dead plant and animal dung and kitchen waste can be converted into a gaseous fuel called biogas. More than half of the world's population in developing countries uses fuel based on biomass. Its main components are methane and carbon dioxide. It is an excellent fuel for cooking and lighting and produces huge amount of organic manure. India is leading in the development of this technology. Advantages of biogas: it is a low cost energy resource. Biogas plant is easy to operate. It makes use of bio waste. Disadvantage of biogas is that it causes greenhouse gas effect. The rate of consumption of energy resources is more than the rate of their formation. The rapid depletion of the sources and very slow regeneration of the exhaustible sources of energy make it necessary to conserve energy resources. So conservation means the economic use of resources. Some of the major steps helpful in conserving minerals and power resources are: improvement in the techniques of extraction and purification, recycling of resources, use of alternative energy resources, avoid using electricity when not required, make use of renewable energy sources for running domestic appliances. So this was the last topic of your chapter minerals. Once again, to sum up the whole chapter, I would like to explain you the main points. On the basis of composition, minerals are of two types, metallic and non-metallic. Minerals having metals in them are called metallic minerals. Minerals which do not have any metals in them are called non-metallic minerals. Color, density, hardness, solubility, these are the main physical and chemical properties of minerals. Power resources are of two types, conventional and non-conventional. Coal, petroleum and natural gas are the conventional sources of power. Solar, wind, tidal, geothermal and biogas are non-conventional sources of power. So with this, your chapter is complete, and I think all the topics are clear to you all. If you have still any queries, you can call me or message me anytime. Thank you, children.